Hey guys, what's up? Emo Cat Dad here, hanging out with you, bringing you yet another edition of Emo Cat Dad Listens. It's 9:30 at night, so I'm really hoping I get this up today. I originally recorded this morning. I didn't love the color on it, but I was just going to push through, and then halfway through the video, my wife jumped in the shower, and you could hear shower noises. So, lesson learned on day 61, that maybe make sure no one is showering while recording these. But in any event, we're here. If you're new to Emo Cat Dad Listens, thank you so much first off for stopping by and checking out this video. But what I do is I check out a new band or artist every day of 2024. I have vowed to. I have not missed one yet. I check out 4 songs from across their discography, give you my initial thoughts on the songs individually, rank the songs, then of course give you my overall thoughts on the artist, as this is me listening to them for the first time. You guys have been so kind, giving me tons of suggestions of bands or artists I should check out. I appreciate it so very much. And today's artist is one of those suggestions, TX2. This is one that has been suggested by a lot of you recently, so I knew I had to get to it very soon. So here we are. So what do I know about TX2? Basically nothing. Based on his looks alone, I imagined he was going to be kind of like a Youngblood style artist. I've heard the name only because I believe he is signed to Hopeless Records. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. So going into this, I knew not what I would get from this, but I was hopeful that it would be some good stuff. So let's dive into it without any further ado. So TX2 had a couple albums early on in 2018 and 19, but looking at the streams, it seems like none of those really took off. Since 2020, and realistically more like 2021, he's been dropping a bunch of singles and just kind of packaging them together in EPs as he goes along. So I'm going to focus mostly on those songs because those seem to be the most popular, so those will be what gives me a good idea as to what kind of artist he is. So the first one I checked out was off the Drop Dead EP, and it was called Vampire by Rumor. Alright, so the chorus on this is super catchy. I really dug the vocal melody throughout the entire song. I think musically it's kind of like a pop punk song, so pretty much what I kind of thought I would get as far as like the Youngblood kind of vibe going. But I didn't expect to get a scream, yet we got a line screamed. And, honestly, I liked it. I thought it was cool. Alright, next up, I checked out the song Heaven Was Full. I'm headed straight to hell. So he talks on this song and the last one about not being religious and kind of rebelling against that. I'm assuming he must have grew up in a religious household. I did too, and I'm no longer religious, so I feel him in that regard. But I do think he's kind of going a little bit overboard with it. I don't know his specific situation, so maybe it's deserving. I'd love to know if he's done interviews on the subject or not, but it just comes off as a little too much to me. But he could very well have his very good reason. Who am I to judge? I'm just an emo cat dad. The song is less of a pop punk kind of feel and more like a arena rock Motley Crue vibe going on. Vocally, it's not nearly as catchy, but I will say he does some cool harmonies on this song that wasn't on the last one, so I thought those were interesting. Alright, most recent EP was Ghost of LA, released last year, and I checked out Degrade Me from that EP. So musically, this one kind of melds the previous two sounds together in one cohesive thing. I would say it's probably musically the best. However, I did still have some minor issues with it. I didn't love the guitar solo so much. And vocally, it didn't really do anything interesting like the previous two did. Alright, so that was off his most recent EP, but he has still been dropping singles since then. And the most recent single actually just came out this week. So that's kind of what got me to be like, okay, I guess now's as good a time as any to check out TX2. So I listened to So Numb. Okay, there was definitely interesting stuff with the vocals on this track. The vocals really soar in the choruses, and I dug that sound a whole lot. Even more so, I dug the vocal melody in the verses, especially on verse 2. Verse 2 on its own is so very good. I give it a Jeff's kiss. We got a bridge. It was pretty repetitive. I'm usually a big bridge guy. I get excited when we get a good bridge. This one didn't really do it for me. However, the bridge then gets followed up with like this interesting electronic core kind of breakdown. We get some oh-oh-oh-ohs in it, but they were kind of muted, so I didn't really bust into the repetitiveness of it all. It just sounded really cool. All right, so those were the 4 songs I checked out. Let's rank them. At number 1, It's So Numb, most recent song by TX2. Definitely the most enjoyable for me. He does a lot of cool stuff on here. I'm super pumped. Please, guys, let me know if he's got more songs like this in his discography, because I definitely want to check those out. At number 2, we're going back to the very first song I listened to, Vampire by Rumor. Chorus and melody, top notch. Could not complain whatsoever. This set a high bar to clear, and unfortunately for some of the other songs, they just weren't able to clear it. At 3 and 4 is really where it gets close. At 3, I think I'm going to say Degrade Me, just because it melded some of the musical stylings in Vampire by Rumor that I really dug. So, of course, if it's a mixture of the number 2 song and a song that's kind of on par, I'm going to go with the song that has that little flair of Vampire by Rumor. So, Degrade Me gets the 3rd spot, which of course puts Heaven Was Full at number 4. No big issues with the song whatsoever. Just when you're up against these other tracks, something had to come in last. And the catchiness just wasn't there as much as it was on the other tracks, and it didn't do as many cool things. Alright, so my overall thoughts on TX2 as an artist is he's clearly super talented. The man knows how to write a hook. There's no denying that. When he plays in the catchy realm, it is super freaking catchy. I do think his lyrics need a little bit of work, for me anyways, but then again, I'm a 34-year-old married man. I'm clearly not the target audience for this, but you guys have been telling me to check it out, so clearly it's working for you. So I'm not going to be the old man that yells at a cloud here. If TX2's lyrics speak to you, then I'm glad you have that. Alright guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm your friendly neighborhood Emo Cat Dad. I appreciate you for making it to the very end of this video. Like I said, get in those comments below. Give me some bands or artists I should be checking out. I still got over 300 of these videos to do, so please keep those coming. You guys have been amazing so far. I just know you're going to continue, and I also want you to be a part of the conversation. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on TX2 in the comments. Do you think he rules? Do you think he stinks? Have you never heard him until today, and because of this video, you're either going to check him out or not check him out based on the little snippets? And of course, if you're a fan, I want to know what other songs I should check out. Obviously, So Numb has impressed me. He's got 2 other recent singles. Are those a similar vibe? Do you think I'd dig those as well? Please, please, please let me know. As time permits, I plan to dive deeper. But I gotta get to editing this video, so I'm gonna sign off here, and I hope you will come along with me on the ride tomorrow. And the best way to do that is to simply cut my wrists and hit subscribe. Friendly neighborhood Emo Cat Dad signing off. Until next time, I want to hear you sad. And while doing that, I actually notice I do have cat scratches here. So, someone's been cutting my wrists and hitting subscribe.